Okay, I hold my hands up. I'm not afraid to admit it. I've cried several times at video games, be it a single event that causes me to blubber like a baby, or the whole game that has me choked up every 5 minutes. These days, video games can be emotionally compelling stuff. If I experience a particularly good game, it can move me in ways that films can't, or maybe even real life can't. Maybe this is because the involvement as you, as the player, involved in the story is essential. I mean, you're the one moving the character around. You're the one causing them to make these choices that may ultimately determine the outcome of the actual final game. So a connection is much more vivid than watching a predetermined movie that you have no influence over because you've made these choices in the game. So maybe that's why they're a bit more emotionally compelling, but I don't know. I've sat downstairs on my sofa and I've cried my eyes out at particular moments in video games. So that is what I'm going to be talking about today. The top 10 video game moments that made me cry. I'll warn you, this is quite depressing. Enjoy! Oh, and spoiler city, population, this video.
Rules, bitch!
Number 1. This list is one game per franchise. And number 2. No matter how shocking or sad a video game moment is, if it didn't make me cry, it doesn't count. It just doesn't. Sorry. Heavy Rain. I mean, of course this was gonna make the list. Have you seen that storyline? Brimming with themes of remorse, guilt, regret, loss, sacrifice, love. I mean, I should be crying at every single strangled yell of okay, maybe not. Sure, Heavy Rain was deep, but the cardboard fucking facial animations and soulless eyes prevented me from really feeling too attached to these monstrosities. I'll try not to spoil too much, just in case some of you haven't played the game, but basically Ethan, who is one of the main playable characters, has to go through a set of trials to test his love for his son. One of which is,
are you prepared to suffer to save your son?
Whereby he has to cut off a section of his finger in front of a camera which is recording him. The tense, ascending music, along with the timer counting down and the shaken controller actions, makes you feel really anxious and nervous. You know it's coming, and you, yourself, as the player, has to make it happen, so it's on your conscience too. Well, this was not all too bad though, until... Good fucking god. It's absolutely brutal and made me recoil and gasp and, of course, cry from sheer panic and shock. Pascal Langdale, who is Ethan's voice actor, has been widely praised for his acting in this chapter for mimicking pain very realistically. And it's no bloody, excuse the pun, wonder. This is one of the best, most uncomfortable cries of pain that I've ever heard, not only in gaming, but acting in general. And the amount of guilt it renders from me is immeasurable. You still can't kiss though. Sorry, Ethan. You adventure all across the Wild West. You kill bandits. You skin animals. You stomp campfires out with your foot because you're John Badass Marston. And you have a real connection with the dude because you've spent the entirety of the game playing as him. Little was I aware of the classic Rockstar brutality at this point. You think you got it all worked out, you retire to a simple life on the ranch with your wife and son, do some mundane tasks such as scaring away crows from your crops and herding cows and shit like that. It all seems dandy. But there is no happy ending here. He gets stabbed in the back by the very same bowler hat wearing bastards that told him he was utterly free. Making sure his family gets to safety, he peeks through a crack in the barn door to find dozens of men lined up with rifles pointed directly towards him. You fling open the doors, zap into red eye mode, briefly think, fuck yeah, I'm gonna be able to mark all these dudes and kill them! Before you realise, oh shit, the red eye meter's going down far too quickly, oh no! And then... dead. You're dead. The character you spent days playing as, growing a fondness for, riding across the Mexican desert. Dead. Gee, thanks! And thus, the first game I ever cried at was born. Okay, some people might be a bit like,
Oh my god, why isn't this number 1? This is literally the most sad video game moment ever. Even PewDiePie cried at it.
and whatever, I feel you. I really do. But my reasoning for this is that throughout the entire Series 1 game, I was pretty much just stone cold deadpan. Even at the scenes that were trying to be emotional, like when Duck was bitten and stuff like that. Yeah, it just didn't get me at all. It was just a really weird art style, and I get it was going for the whole comic book thing, but I personally didn't like it at all. And then the characters were all dicks, and it was just one of those Marmite games. Yet, I carried it out to the end because of Clem and Lee being really likable characters, and I wanted to see how they ended up. Yeah. Bad move. Oh, by the way, spoilers. So, Lee gets bitten and it all kind of goes downhill from there. Clem's kidnapped by some psychopath that keeps his wife's zombie head in a bowling bag and speaks to it. Then Clem sees her real parents trawling around the streets as zombies.
I saw my parents. They're dead. They really are.
And finally, the one guy who looked after her throughout this whole ordeal is slowly getting sicker and sicker, and his eyes are going yellower and yellower, and you're given an ultimatum. Run away and leave him to turn on his own, or end his suffering and shoot him in the face with a pistol. The dialogue between Clem and Lee in his final moments are utterly soul-destroying. And then that final silent pan over Clem's face as she struggles to pull the trigger. Oh, crikey. I even have evidence of this exact moment this happened when I was crying. I can't even deal with this right now. So, I just played The Walking Dead. That was depressing. Yay! Oh, look! Another one from the boys at Quantic Dream. What a surprise! The depressing fucks. Whether you slate this game or adore it, you can't deny that this has some deep, distressing moments that literally make you want to collapse onto the floor, curl up in the fetal position, and cry until you run out of tears. It covers things like solitude, abandonment, rape, bullying, homelessness, self-harm, abuse, teenage angst, mental illness, complications at birth, death, lots of death. Need I go on? I was pretty much choked up every other 15 minutes, but as a standout moment which made me cry, it'd have to be when we switch back to Jodie as a little girl and her foster parents are saying goodbye to her and leaving her with Professor Dawkins. As they are going, Aiden has the choice to try and suffocate the dad, but is unsuccessful, and the dad spits out,
You're trying to kill me! Oh my god, she's evil! You're a monster! Do you hear me? A monster!
Oh my God. Jody.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the epitome of depression. And to be honest, I knew right from the start of making this list that a moment from this game was easily going to take first place. The Last of Us is one of my favourite, if not my ultimate all-time favourite video game on any console ever. And by God, there are some tearjerkers in the storyline. To be quite honest, there are about 6 times overall that I let it all come out and have a good puffy eye, mascara streaming, gasping for air cry. And it was pretty difficult deciding which moment out of the truly heart-wrenching narrative was to take the #1 spot. However, in the end, I had to go for Sarah's death. Some people might dispute this and be like, what? What about the ending? Surely that was like the ultimate climactic epitome of what was happening, but I digress. Hear me out. You begin the game playing as Sarah, who is Joel's daughter from 20 years prior to the main events, just as the Cordyceps outbreak is beginning. You get to grips with the controls and the visuals and initial narrative by playing as Sarah. She begins your journey. She's endearing and a bit of a tomboy with a band t-shirt on. She's grounded and down to earth and not a girly girl at all, which makes it all the more emotional when she says she's scared or that she wants to stop and help people. Next thing you know, Sarah has broken her leg and Joel is racing through the countryside, cradling her in his arms. And you come across a soldier and you think, oh, thank the Lord, we're saved, it's all good. But then you hear...
Sir, there's a little girl. But... Yes, sir.
He unloads a round of bullets onto Joel and onto Sarah. They fall down the hill and...
Sarah. Move your hands, baby. I know, baby, I know. God. Listen to me, I know this hurts, baby. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby, I know it hurts. Come on, baby, please. I know, baby, I know. Sarah. Baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on.
I have never in my life been more unprepared for such emotional fucking torment. And to reinforce just why this deserves to get the #1 spot, look at how I am after watching this scene. I'm not crying, I promise. Why'd you have to die, Sarah? Why? See, after doing that, I've actually got tears. Oh, you can't really see, but they're kind of red. I'm actually crying again. Bayek, wasn't that depressing? I hope I haven't depressed you all with that top 5 list, but it does go to show that games are not only there for our entertainment and for our joy, but they're evolving into becoming experiences of the human condition. I've been HaleFail, and you have probably been quite sad. Adios, gamers and gameritas. Sharing is caring, so let me know down in the comments which video game moments made you cry. Hey, no one's gonna judge. I mean, definitely not the level-headed, reasonable people from the comments. They won't judge you at all. Promise.